Hello, this is Susan Kilmer. In this video, I want to talk about structuring a document using styles and headings. This is important for students especially who are using a screen reader because structure helps them navigate through the document and know if they are in a heading or a subheading or inside another part of the document. The navigation is really going to be critical for someone using a screen reader. But for a student who is sighted but needs files that have visual appeal, the styles and headings also deal with that. So this is the same file we were using in a previous video that was extracted from the PDF using OmniPage quick convert function, or you could use the long version. But what I ended up with was a text file, which I've opened in Microsoft Word, and I've applied my normal template so that I have all of my tools available to me, including my styles of headings up here, any macros that I created. I have a ton of macros. Anything like that is available in this document. And my normal template uses a particular kind of font set. So you'll notice as I'm progressing through this document, if you're doing the same thing, you may see slight differences in the look of the fonts. So if I look at the original document, and I always want to compare from the original document, so I can see that up here we have the chapter title. We have a little outline, which is actually learning objectives for this particular chapter. There's chapter text in here. Here's a heading level here. You can see that looks completely different than the regular text. This is because it's a heading level. I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to see there's a footnote. We will cover footnotes in a future video. More text here. Oh, what is this? Not part of the text, but part of the text. So we need to talk about that, which will also be covered in a future video. Here's another heading level. And I keep scrolling. I'm seeing a lot of things I'm going to have to deal with. Here's some more text that isn't part of the text, but it needs to be in there. So I'm going to go back up here and look. And the value of this file, and why I use this one for demonstration, is that it actually has the outline right at the top in the learning objectives, which is kind of nice. It gives you an idea of what you're looking for as you're practicing, going through this book. So this is a good example for me to use. So I do know I need to mark this as a heading level, and I need to mark this as a heading level, and I need to mark this as a heading level. And there's more. If we look at that outline, we can see that there's a B, there's a C, and then there's a part 2. So I could go into the Word document and make it bigger and apply a color to it if I wanted to. I could do this, but you'll notice that in our navigation pane here on the left-hand side, there is no structure being built. And when there's no structure, there's no way for a student using a screen reader to navigate properly through this file. So while I made it look cool, I didn't actually help myself at all. So I'm going to use my Control-Z and take all of those formatting pieces out. And I'm back to what my regular file looks like. Now, as we're creating these, we want to make sure things are readable, things are working in a linear fashion, so not chopped up, not moved around. Just because we're adding some visual structure to the document doesn't mean it's going to look like the original. In fact, it should not look like the original. There does not need to be any reason for it to look like the original, but it needs the structure that the original document had. So I look really quick again back at my original, and so I know I need to create heading levels here and denote this. Here's another heading level here. So heading levels, they start at heading level 1. They go all the way through number 6. You can go farther than that. Most of the time for a student with a screen reader, you don't want to go past 6. And even then, you better be thinking really carefully about whether you want to go that deep in a document. There is only ever one heading level 1 in any document. So this means I can only use heading level 1 once, and it should always be at the very, very top. And from looking at my original, I can see it says chapter 1, and then it has the title of the chapter. I know in my mind these do not need to be on separate lines. So I tend to do this as a reformat. So I put a colon after chapter 1, and I pull the second line of the chapter, which is the chapter title, up to that single line. And now I want to apply heading level 1 because this is the title of the document. I can use the button or Control Alt and the 1 on the top of your keyboard, not on your number pad, will add that heading level 1. On your left hand side now you can see that that first heading level has been added there. Now when I looked at this in the original document, I'm looking at this and going, those are learning objectives. And if I jump from the title of the document right into the learning objectives, this may not be very clear to someone who's listening and can't see it. So I'm going to make an adjustment here. And you don't always have to do this. This is what I would call an executive decision. In my case, I do it for navigability and for better understanding when you're listening to the document. But I'm going to say what this is. So I'm typing in learning objectives. And I'm going to make this a heading level 2 so it stands out. So I have already applied styles here, the heading level 1 and heading level 2. Now in my original document, here's another heading here, and we can see it's smaller than the chapter 1, and we know we can only use that heading level 1 one time. So this has to be a heading level 2. So I'm going to go back to my document, and here it is right here, and I'm going to apply heading level 2 to this. Now I can select the whole thing, or I can just have my cursor blinking inside anywhere in that line. And I can use the toolbar up here at the top and choose heading level 2, or I can do Control Alt and the number 2 at the top of your keyboard. So now you can see that one has shown up here in our navigation pane on the left. I'm going to skip over the footnotes because I'm going to cover that in a later video. And I'm going to look and see if I can find another heading level, and sure enough there is. Remember our little outline here at the top that's going to help us do this. So I know I'm going to have to apply this as a heading level as well. But is it a heading level 2 or is it nested underneath? Well, I know it's nested underneath, so I'm going to make this a heading level 3. Again, I can use the toolbar or Control Alt 3. Now heading levels 1, 2, and 3 are the only ones you can use that shortcut, keyboard shortcut for, but you can also create a macro to handle any farther ones down. I prefer the keyboard command, and so I will make macros to do those, and we cover macros in a different video. So again, I'm going to skip through the footnote here and the page numbers, and I'm going to look, because we're looking for B. And I'm going to keep going here and see if I can find B, and it's down here somewhere, maybe. We got a lot going on in this file, and lots of footnotes, which we will cover in an additional video. Oh, there's C, so I missed B somewhere. I can always do a search for it, so I can do B period and see if it finds it. Oh, there it is, right there. So I'm going to apply heading level 2 to this, or heading level 3 to this one. And then I can find C, because I did find it once already. There it is. And heading level 3 for that one. And now we know, looking at our little mini outline here, there is a section 2 or a part 2. So we're going to look for that. It'll be in here, and I can always search for it as well. So I'm just going to scroll. This gives you an idea of what this document looks like. And here is number 2. And so this is a heading level 2. So now we have this structure over here on the left-hand side. If I want to make sure I've kind of matched up, I can go back up and look at my little learning objectives right here. So this is how you apply styles, and you're going to do this throughout the document. We did see in this document that there are some little text, kind of box text areas. These are not going to receive heading levels because they aren't really part of the structure that we're seeing over here on the left-hand side of our Word document. So it's really not part of that structure, and we will cover how to handle these in a later video. But this gives you the basics of how to deal with styles and headings and what to apply and what not to apply. That concludes this video.